have so many questions.
Hi, I'm Dan, and today I'm reacting to Marvel's Runaways, Season 1, Episode 4, 15. This is sort of a bonus video. I don't usually put 3 videos out a week. I am still putting out a Thursday video at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time that won't be about Runaways, but because Episode 4 came out, I wanted to talk about it. So here you go, a little gift from me. Things are starting to come into focus a lot more as we get a lot more information about a number of storylines, and they really move forward here. Because I would say in the first half of this episode, I was starting to feel, I was like, okay, this is a good teen drama, but there's so much mystery and it seems like it's going slowly. But in the back half of this episode, we started to really get some interesting development. Obviously, there's going to be some big spoilers here. I'm going to go character by character. So, first I have Nico, who we start out the episode with a flashback of her. I'm starting to wonder if they're going to start each episode focusing on a flashback from one of the different kids. That does seem like the formula we're getting a little bit as far as we got the flashback from Molly last time. Nico, we see her sister apparently committed suicide. So that was the big mystery, is what happened to Amy. We're still wondering, was it actually suicide? Were her parents involved? We have this sort of thing of her parents covering up something about it. I thought it was really interesting how her mom used the little wand, mirror on the wall thing to sort of knock her daughter out and stop her from calling the cops. And then, of course, we get the revelation of them having a cop in their pocket. My current theory here is that Amy did in fact commit suicide, and it was because she found out something about the parents or something about herself. And that the reason her parents are covering up this death has more to do with Amy's powers, and that they can't let anybody know that there's something off about her body or about her powers or something like that. That, to me, is the more interesting avenue than when they jumps directly into, oh, my parents must have been the reason she got killed, or they sacrificed her, or whatever. That, to me, is too easy. If you're telling me that in this episode, that's not going to be what the answer is. But I definitely was intrigued. Nico wants to go to the cops. He's convinced that her parents killed her sister. And at first, Alex is sort of hesitant to that, but he comes through. He's like, I don't want her to have to go through it alone. And sci-fi shows and kids shows like this, they're always like, oh, we can't tell the cops because blah. But they actually tried to, and were stopped by some very obvious, some big roadblocks. There was an actual reason written into the show why they can't just go to the cops. And of course, that being that the cops are in their pocket in some fashion. So I thought that was a really cool development. The way Nico and Alex's story ends is with them looking over information that they get from Gert and Carolina, and they find out these 15 people who have been sacrificed every year. They're always teenagers. I was interested in the fact that they were always teenagers, and that now they seem to be going away from that MO, in that we have James Marsters' character, whose name I'm just going to call James Marsters, Chase's dad. He's trying to get new victims throughout this episode, and they're all older people. And then we even have these little hints of maybe Carolina's dad is going to be the next victim. Again, older. So it's interesting that they felt like they had to be teenagers, but now they're going away from that MO. So was it just that they were looking for runaways that nobody would care about, and that just happened that way? Or does it have to do with something with the ritual? They have to be young, and now they're just desperate. I'm interested to see what you guys think about that. But there's certainly a bigger thing here, a serialistic kind of thing. Clearly a ritualistic kind of thing. And it'll be interesting to see, once we know the specifics of what they were doing, why they were doing it, if any of the kids will be able to understand where the parents were coming from. Because my guess is that there's sort of a gray area reason. In general, I really like Nico and Alex's dynamic. I think these actors are great. And I really feel for Nico, especially, she's becoming definitely an emotional core of the show. And I'm excited to see her sort of take control when she gets that wand again and does some badass shit. Moving over to Chase and Carolina, we continue the attempted rape storyline this episode. I want to give credit to the show for being willing to talk about these things. At the same time, I'm like, was this all just to set up a potential ship between Chase and Carolina? Is that like a worthwhile reason? At the same time, it is highlighting that this is something that happens in real life, and showing what you should be like Chase and what it would mean from the girl's perspective if they just woke up and they didn't even know what happened. I also really liked how Gert and Carolina were able to sort of connect over this issue and find some common ground, some friendship this episode, especially given the sort of love triangle dynamic that they're building up here. I don't want it to just devolve into woman versus woman. The fact that they was able to have their cake and eat it too a little bit in this episode, I thought was a step in the right direction. I also found the possibility of Chase's dad working with him on the weapon of his own destruction to be a really cool turn of events there. I think that's awesome. Carolina in her glow in the dark mode, very cool visual. One of my favorite visuals that the show's had so far. And I am excited to see what else that means. Again, I haven't read the comics, so I don't know what that means, if she has like celestial blast powers or something. But definitely I'm glad if that's going to be an ongoing thing that it looks cool. And we'll see where else comes from it. It always made sense to me that the wrist was an inhibitor. The question is she an alien? Is she from some long line of something where she experimented on? Clearly there's some connection with her mother. I'm going to use this to sort of sidestep to with her mother, and that her mother, gets all naked and glows with a creepy old crusty boy. And so they have some sort of connection there. Now, as far as the creepy old crusty boy goes, very interesting decision here. Very interesting visuals, too, I will say, with the sort of showing the silhouette of the nudity, but not really showing it. It was just a well-filmed scene. The crusty old guy, I really assumed was going to be Carolina's grandfather, because they talked about how he started the religion and all that stuff. I suppose it still could be. Was it trying to... I was unclear on whether it was straight up showing sex, or whether it was supposed to be just that she's using her warmth to warm him. No matter what, it was very sensual, and I don't know... It really seemed like it was going to be the grandfather. I suppose it still could be, but let's hope not. Moving on from that, let's talk a little bit about the dinosaur dynamics here we have going on. I talked in my last video that I wasn't a huge fan of the dinosaur thing. I'm coming around to it. I thought the effects were a little bit better here, and I am intrigued by the fact that Gert is able to control it. So that's a very interesting thing, and the fact that the parents were sort of confused by that, I also found exciting, and I wonder where we're going with that. So at this point, we have Gert can control animals, I want to assume. I don't know if it's just dinosaurs. We have Molly with her super strength. We have Carolina, the glow-in-the-dark girl. And we have Nico with her magic snowball powers. We have nothing for Alex, and we have nothing for Chase, although Chase seems to be becoming the Iron Man-ish character, potentially, with his Fists of Fury. I'm interested to see what happens with Alex. He seems... I'm just wondering, is he just going to be a normal? We'll see. Maybe he'll be the tech guy. We do have that beginning. But it is interesting how we're slowly peppering in these abilities. And I'm excited to see more of the parents, whether they're going to be just very similar to what the kids are, or if they have a whole other level of things going on. Speaking of the parents, I want to talk a little bit more about Gert and Molly's parents. They were apparently trying to escape from the rest of the group. They had this little getaway from Molly's real parents. I think that's really interesting. I talked before about how it was hard to empathize or connect with the parents when you didn't know what their intentions were. It certainly helps that they want to get out, that adds a level of they don't want to be doing this. So they're not just, stereotypical evildoers. They have charisma, they have character. These actors, I think, are really strong. So I'm excited to see more of that and more of why they're trying to get out and what they agreed to and why. I guess I'll end out just by saying Alex was taken. He was kidnapped. The question is why would someone do this? I'm wondering if maybe it was the cop, because I have trouble seeing any of the parents doing it at this point. I mean, maybe James Marsters, maybe Tina, but it seems like that might be a red herring. I wonder if there's any other possibility. I'm trying to think. We don't have other factions and stuff out there right now. So I don't know. I'm excited to see what happens there and maybe have a little more focus on Alex again, because I do feel like we've gone a little bit away from him since the pilot. So let me know what you think. Why do you think Alex was taken? Who do you think has him? What will come of it? I'm excited to hear all of your opinions. Please let me know again if you want more of these reaction videos and how you want me to sort of change it around, what the format you want to be. Do you want it to be recappy like this? Do you want it to be theory-based? I can read some of your theories too next time. If you want to send some comments, I'd be happy to talk about your opinions. Thank you guys so much for watching. Check back tomorrow, Thursday, at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for a new video. It's a really fun one. We did a challenge video and it was hilarious. I'm so excited for you guys to watch it. See you guys next time.